Hey everybody, time to make some French onion soup. And let me tell you, I'm showing you how to do it the easy way. There are so many people that complicate French onion soup, and it is not that hard to make. Now, there are a couple ways that you can make French onion soup, and I know the gourmet way, and I know the healthy way, I know the cheating way, and I'm going to share with you probably a little bit of all of these, because a lot of the French onion soups really are not that healthy, and a lot of them are a lot more time consuming than they really need to be. Now let me tell you, I have made this French onion soup in restaurants for years and years and years, and I'm talking, I hear my oven ready. My oven's ready because we're going to broil this. We're going to even take it one step farther today. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, I've done this soup in a number of different restaurants, and it has always been so good. We're going to cut these onions into slivers just like this. So that's what you're looking for, is slivers. Some people do half rounds like this. But the problem with this is a lot of times these are going to break apart, and pretty soon you have a diced onion soup. So you definitely do not want to cut it this way. And I've seen pros that do it that way and even do a little quartering. But you want to do it in slivers. Flip it like that. Anybody that knows, and let me put this real quick. We'll start getting those sauteed. Flip. So easy to do onions. So you get a couple slices through here, and then all you do is spin it. And let me share with you why I do it that way. Because here's what happens. If you're slicing this way, once you get past this center point, and every time you slice, you're taking a risk of cutting yourself on this backward slope. So that's why you want to just flip it that way and boom, 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 right down to the last slice. See how that works? The intelligent way to chop an onion. You've been watching Onion Cutting 101 with Mark Anthony. And I haven't even been crying yet. You never know. Some onions will make me very emotional, and other ones aren't so bad. And I haven't got affected by these yet. So we're going to do these onions up. Get them all sauteed off. I'm going to share with you what the pros do and what I'm going to do. Now, what gourmet restaurants would do when it comes to French onion soup is actually saute it in a little bit of butter. Put some butter in there, get this thing browning. You want to get that browning action going on. The problem is, man, those butters are just loaded with a whole bunch of fat. And to me, it's not worth the calories. There are some vegan, I love this one. I can't believe it's not butter. Well, I can, but it's vegan. It even says it's vegan on it. The problem with these type of things too, it's still 60 calories from fat. So it's 100% calories from fat, which is like the most unhealthy thing we have on the planet. So if you wanted to, you could saute it, just put a little spoonful of that in there, and you'll get some browning action. Me, all I'm doing is a little water saute today. Just gonna give this a water saute. Now, what a lot of people will do, gourmet restaurants, they're going to saute the onions for an hour. I mean, literally, we would put these in, big crocks because we're making big batches, and sometimes a couple hours. We put it on a little lower temperature, and a few hours later is when we'd actually be ready to make the soup. But I'm not going to worry about any of that today. We're just going to get this baby kind of water sauteed down. It's going to be a little more of a steaming action to break them down than an actual saute today. But we'll get these broke down, and then we can finish off this soup. Once the onions have browned, and look at this, look at the browning action I'm getting underneath there. That's a water saute, and a very good one at that. See how it's browning? People look at that caramelization thinking, wow. And it was done with no butter whatsoever. And you'll see some browning on the bottom of the pan here. Deglazing, that's where you add a little bit of water to it and you scrape up all that little flavor that's at the bottom of the pan. Nice part, we're making French onion soup. So we can just add more and more and more and more water to it till you get it where you want it. In fact, I'm just gonna kick it up here, right about there. There we go. Secret ingredient, thyme, ground thyme. Some people put thyme flakes in there. A lot of people don't know about this secret ingredient, but if you just put a little pinch of thyme in there, ooh boy, it's just gonna be like, there's something special about it. There's just something special about it. And then, of course, my beefless base, which is my better than bouillon, no beef base. And if you go and look at any recipes, they're going to use a beef stock for their bouillon soup. It's just, that's all it is, beef stock and onions. And let me tell you, we're going to stir this in, and then once it heats up, we're going to give it actual little thickening agent as well. Now, once the water is heated up, I'm going to share with you another secret about French onion soup that nobody does. And that is to hit it with a little bit of that cornstarch slurry, just cornstarch and water. The trick here is you do not want to put a lot in there. We're not making a soup that's a stew, okay? We don't want French onion stew. We want French onion soup. And just by adding a little bit of the cornstarch, what it's going to do is it turns it into a saucy, so it's more like an au jus. If you ever make au jus, just, you know, you can do the beef base, add some of this to it, and it just gives it a little bit of thickness, a little bit of body, and it makes a complete difference in your soup. And it helps the onions actually have a little more float in there as well. So there you go, and you can tell it's just a little bit, just enough to give it some body, and that's the difference. That's what makes the difference between a good French onion soup and a great French onion soup. And most people never do it. Most restaurants will never do that little extra part there. Okay, what else we got? We got things in the oven. There we go, some croutons. Now, a lot of people, when they're making French onion soup, the best thing you can do is actually get some French baguettes, because you want a airy but firm type of bread to be used for the French onion soup. And you want it dried. You don't want a wet soup. If you've got a wet bread, it can be a real mess. So we're gonna ladle these up. Oh man, does that look good? And I'm gonna fill these up pretty close to the top here, because I've got to create a buoyancy with the croutons, and I want those on a higher level. And this is a huge portion for a French onion soup. So we've got it like this. And then we're going to just get the croutons all around. You can use pretty much any kind of bread you want as long as you create a crouton out of it. And then, by the way, I'm going to add some cheese to the top here. This is just a vegan mozzarella today. A lot of times you'll use a Swiss or a provolone when you're going to do it in a restaurant of any kind. But this will do for today. But a lot of times in the restaurants, we don't do any cheese at all. We don't even do croutons. You know, we'll usually have croutons or bread on the actual table. So we just serve it just like this, and nothing topping whatsoever. But the higher end gourmet restaurants will actually kick it up a notch and charge twice as much. All right, so we're gonna put this in the broiler and get it broiling for just a couple minutes. Woo! Oh, pretty close. Yes, baking at 550 degrees on a broiler can make this get done very fast, but that looks gorgeous. I'm gonna leave that open. I never close it completely, but look at that. That's what I'm talking about. French onion soup. And let me tell you, how long did that take? Like literally, like 20 minutes at the very most, and you have the most spectacular French onion soup, cost-effective. Restaurant-wise, it's one of the most cost-effective soups you could ever possibly make, and it's absolutely delicious. So that's the way you make French onion soup, the easy way, the tricks to French onion soup, but time and money and nutrition-wise, you don't have all the fat in this, you got it. It's a home run. Enjoy this one, and we'll see you next time, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.